Ladies and gentlemen, it is 4:48 on my clock. And you know what it is? I was sitting up here, I was watching a couple of videos. Because I got up, dog was out there barking, and it's the new one. And I had to let her know, look, hey, Dot, her name is Dot. Who names a dog Dot? Your mama, your grandmama, and your great-grandmama. Okay, one of my first babysitters' name was Dot. Dot. Get over it. Anywho, I was listening to this young man. He was doing a video. And he was talking in the video and he mentioned a court case. And I'm like, oh, man, if that case say what he said it's going to say, I'm going to give that young man credit. I'm going to tell everybody that, hey, he owned the money. Because I done watched a couple of his videos and he explains things. And he explains things from the standpoint of, man, that's it. And it can't be no other way. And that's a fact, Jack. I went and I read the case. Literally read the whole case. While I'm laying here, just reading the case because he mentioned it. Let me tell you something. The case said the exact opposite of what he said it was saying. Not only did the appeal court say the exact opposite of what he was saying, but the final Supreme Court decision was the exact opposite of what he said. Pay attention. The appeals court came to a decision years ago. And then the Supreme Court came to a decision and said, yeah, we agree with the appeal court. But it was the exact opposite what he was telling the people the case said. It said. Look, everyone, when I do my videos, I do the best I can to show you what the law says. I don't do court cases because judges don't make law. The law takes precedent, not a stupid court case. Well, I just showed you guys, you just have to look it up. A promissory note is a medium of exchange. Why? Because Congress said so. It isn't someone's interpretation, the Supreme Court's interpretation, the judge's interpretation. It is what Congress said. Congress said it cannot be worth, it has to be equal to the amount of Federal Reserve notes that you're applying for, and in no event shall it be less than the Federal Reserve notes applied for. Both statement means that it has to be equal or greater than, so that means it is received at par value. And Congress went on to say that these notes, drafts, bills of exchange were the new security and gold for Federal Reserve notes. They are a medium of exchange. Pay attention. A medium of exchange is known as currency in every aspect and place and foundational, financial, plausible situation in the world. Go ahead. What is a medium of exchange? Just go to ChatGPT. What is a medium of exchange? So are you telling me cash or cash equivalent is known as a medium of exchange? And then you bring it to the promissory note being a medium of exchange. Ta-da. Now, see, I show you that. I walk you through it. I show you on video. That's why my videos are done the way they're done, because they're done in real time, so that I'm not letting you know that I prepared this. I just show it to you so that you can know that, hey, I got to go do some research, because this seemed like the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Woohoo! But when I heard him mention this case, and he mentioned the case, talked about how he had gone over the case. And sometimes, people can go over things and get things wrong. I was very disappointed in this particular person because I had so much respect. Then someone sent me a document yesterday from another person who does videos. This person is telling people that they could do this and they can do that and they can do this. Even produced a document. The document has, God, it has the logo of a government agency. Ladies and gentlemen, that document was not produced by that government agency. If that individual is making money in any sense off of that document, that is a felony It's not a felony because I said so. It's a felony because I know several people who's already gone to jail for doing that. That individual needs to stop that. Now, he's not going to listen to me because everybody thinks that they know more. And man, that ain't going to happen to me. And so it's one of those que sera, sera. I mean, que sera, caseras. Okay. I don't know. There was a point I was thinking, you can take a little step back. Leave it up to the other guys that are coming in after you. They got this. They got more information. They're doing more research. And I have those two situations happening within a 24-hour period. I don't pay attention to other people's videos, people. I don't watch other people's videos. From time to time, I'll catch a video and I'll watch and then I'll move on. But tonight, the first video that I told you about, he actually said something. So I said, wait a minute, let me go check that out. That's why I read the case. Because he said the case said something. And I said, if that case says that, oh man, I'm just going to piggyback and I'm going to let everybody know how I was listening and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to give him credit. And it said the opposite. And I read it twice to make sure. And it said the opposite. And disappointed. And so am I, very disappointed, because this individual is giving information to people that is inaccurate. Oh well. Now look, I'm going to tell you, when I first read the Federal Reserve Act amended March 9, 1933, I read the statement, such notes, and I'm going to be 100% honest. I thought it could have been talking about circulating notes. I even mentioned that in the video. I was doing a video, and when I first came across it, I stopped the video. Because I said, wait a minute, if it's talking about circulating notes, then that point doesn't work. Whew. Let me go ahead and let you know, because it's important that you understand this, because this is important. Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to make it fit. And I said, no, I can't do that because of who I am. My personality and my God requires me to be honest. And then I read it again and I said, no, because it's talking about circulating notes up here. The last paragraph talked about such notes deposited as securities. And then it says such notes shall be the obligation of the Federal Reserve procuring the same. So when it said such notes, I said, no, it's not referring to circulating notes because it already talked about circulating notes. It was now going into notes, drafts, bills of exchange, bankers' acceptances, and calling drafts, bills of exchange, bankers' acceptances notes. Well, it wasn't until a week ago that I realized, wait a minute, such notes only refers to notes, drafts, bills of exchange, bankers' acceptances, just like I thought originally, because it says such circulating notes, so it uses the term such circulating notes specifically. I said, so it's talking about two different categories, and lo and behold, that was the key to breaking their stupid interpretations in the court. It was the intent of Congress that your promissory notes be received at par when they follow Treasury regulations. What is Treasury regulations? That it be accompanied by an application. The application is Federal Reserve Operating Circular number 10. Kenny, thank you for that information. Well, he brought the Operating Circular number 10 to me, to my attention. Appendix number 3. Go ahead. He brought that to my attention. And then I looked through it and found section 12.3. Woohoo! Nail in the coffin. So your promissory note is a medium of exchange, everyone. When accompanied by the application, when you use one of those Federal Reserve agents. What's a Federal Reserve agent? Any of those banks that you go to get a loan for a car, home, student loan. But I ain't got no bank for no student loan. I went to the school. Yes, but the school used the bank. Shh, don't tell nobody. Okay? That's why you receive the notifications. Hey, you got monthly payment. We're going to defer it for 100 years, but you still going to have to pay. That's why they do that. All right. I gotta go take a shower. Sunday morning. Got work to do around the house. Expanding my dog's pen to 3 times its size because they need spaces to grow and move around and everything. So we're about to open it up. And I got a neighbor that's going to be coming by. And I'm going to let him know that he can show up. We were supposed to leave here at 6:30, but he drove 300 miles yesterday and then 300 miles back. So I'm going to give him a break. So I'm going to give him, we were supposed to leave at 6:30. I'm going to tell him we can leave at 9:30. It's going to really kill the day because we're not going to get everything done. But yeah, that's a lot of driving that he did yesterday. I don't feel like driving. He's got a truck. All right. Other than that, let y'all go on about y'all business. Okay? Arrivederci.